Blue skies means fun days. Helping skydivers with tips and techniques about safety, training and fun jumping from those who know.
You know, the path is a little bit different for everyone, but basically it's a lot of jumps and a lot of tunnel time. So how you accomplish that, there's lots of different paths. Some people become tunnel instructors, get really good at flying their body in the tunnel, and then, you know, as they're doing their skydives, their skills in free fall are vastly increased. Other people join a team, just spend a lot of time skydiving, building up a lot of jumps. That's what I did because tunnels were kind of new back then. We did have a tunnel in Eloy, so we were training there then too. Other people just, you know, keep getting good on the weekends. They have their regular day job and they just spend a lot of time at the drop zone. Getting coaching in the beginning, then maybe doing a small team or organized events, and just putting a lot of time into the sport. I mean, the way you get to advanced free flying is putting a lot of time in. The progression from getting to the beginner level of free flying, being able to hold a sit or a head down, to getting to something like Arizona Anthem, the team, getting to be a level where you can do VFS, you can do angle dives, you can be close to people on a skydive and do coordinated moves. That progression is about doing, first of all, a lot of jumps and training. So training in the tunnel, training in the sky. But the types of jumps and training you want to do can help you focus to get there faster. Always having a coach in skydiving is the way to go if it's something you can afford, because they can help you with those details along the way. But as you're jumping with your friends and jumping with other people, you can also try and make your skydives more focused yourself. When I first learned to free fly, a long, long time ago, you know, I could hold a sit, I could hold a head down. Basically, we were, you know, in Canada, just kind of zooming around the sky, having fun, trying to experiment with different positions, watching, you know, the old school videos of the Freefly clowns and stuff like that, you know, just like, let's try this, let's try that. Then I went down to skydive the ranch with my buddy Dave, who we were trying to do a Freefly team together, and we did some coaching with Max Cohen. Some people might know who he is, kind of old school free flyer. It was amazing, you know, the silliest things that we take for granted now that he taught us that helped us so much, which was heading, levels, and proximity. That sounds so incredibly basic. It's something we learn as belly flyers. It's something we learn all along the way, but applying it to every skydive, to everything that we do, makes such a huge difference in your progression. So if you're that person that's just learned to sit fly and you got a buddy that's just learned to sit fly, you know, you want someone to hold a base, hold a heading, hold a level, and then you're coming to them, and then you're doing maneuvers from there, and there's always an adjustment to that heading, level, and proximity. Sounds super simple and elementary, but it's basically where you need to start for free flying. It's where you need to start for any skydiving. In the tunnel, it's a little easier because you're together in an enclosed space. You can experiment a little bit more. You can be a little bit more free form. You can just work on the physical aspects of flying, building muscle memory, holding different positions. But in the sky, you need to create that space for yourself to stay together and not let it get too crazy. So how do you go about finding a qualified free fly coach? I think, you know, it depends where you're from. So if you're from a smaller drop zone, there's probably going to be that one or two people that on your drop zone that are the more experienced people that may have themselves gone out to get coaching at larger drop zones. So those are great people to start with. You know, talk them up, find if they can do a few jumps with you. Traveling to a bigger drop zone with people that are on teams or involved in competition, or maybe have some sort of experience with big waves. That's a great way, to get coaching and kind of broaden your horizons of what's around you and learn more about what other people out there are learning. And then, once you've got the basics of free flying and you can be safe in a group of like 5 or 6, you can fly head down and sit on level in proximity with a small group, then you can start doing camps. That's where the real fun kind of starts, because you can, you're not paying so much for every jump. You're not paying, for a private coach for just working with you or you and someone else. You're you're sharing that cost with a group of other people, or maybe even setting up small groups yourself. Not necessarily even, going to a camp, but setting up a focus group where you guys are accomplishing a goal in the day. So, for example, in Eloy, Tom Fang has a thread on Facebook that's called "I Just Want to Hold Hands," and it's to all the free flyers in the drop zone. Whenever he has a weekend, he wants to come out. People come out and they organize 10 ways, 20 ways, and start doing focused tasks together as a group. And for newer free flyers that now have that ability to be in that size group, and for the experienced people, it's a fun way to hone your skills. So that's one way of doing it, starting a group, getting involved in a group, or going to camps. So there's camps advertised with different coaches for angle flying, for VFS style stuff, MFS style stuff, even just doing, group belly flying groups. You're going to learn so much from belly fly, smaller big ways in the beginning, or even progressing to bigger big ways, about theory of, diving, floating, how to make your approaches, how to organize yourself, how to dress for success and get your attire straight to stay on level, and not be out of your minimum or maximum fall rate range. All that stuff applies to free flying, and you can take that knowledge and bring it into your free flying when you're working with camps, groups, coaches, whatever you're doing. There is a huge value in being involved in competition. In fact, I cannot even tell you enough how much value that has. It's an incredible amount of value. The best way to train, if you are willing to put the time in, is to do a team. It's not the only way to train. There was a bunch of other ways, like I said, getting involved in camps, getting a private coach, but challenging yourself within a group in competition, not only the process of competition, but the process of training and what it takes to compete, really helps you to focus. It helps you to do a consistent amount of jumps. So say you're getting together with a beginner VFS team, or let's call it an advanced VFS team, and you guys have learned to fly head down and you want to start getting better at taking docks and maybe being on big waves. So you get together with a group of 4 and you say, this year we're going to do 150 training jumps. Well, that's all of a sudden now you committed, you put your dates down, you're coming to the drop zone every weekend, you're maybe doing, 8, 10, who knows how many jumps you can do depending on your drop zone. Maybe you're only doing 4, but you're doing a focused amount of jumps with that group, and you're creating goals. And then not only are you, learning along the way, you're creating a process for yourself. So say, week 1, you're just doing the basic blocks this weekend. We're going to do block 4 and we're going to do block, whatever it is, block 3. I'm trying to remember what all the blocks are in advance now. I can't remember block 4 is in advance. But so you're going to just work on those 2 blocks over and over again for 6 jumps. And then boom, then the next weekend you're doing something else. The next weekend you're doing randoms. Then maybe you add in tunnel training to that. So you're going to the tunnel once a week with your group. Everybody who's done tunnel knows that, if you just go once in a while, it's cool, it's fun, you're learning a bit, but if you want to start making progress, you're going consistently. Maybe it's a couple times a week, maybe it's whatever you can afford and whatever you can put in, but you're committing to yourself that you're doing that, and you're holding yourself accountable and your group to that schedule. I just got one more thing to add to that bit, because frustration in skydiving is totally legit. We've all experienced it. We've all, gone to do that skydive and be like, why didn't we do better? Or why am I not getting this exit? It's a very, tunnel time aside, doing a skydive, you have 45 seconds to practice every skydive. Imagine, if you were trying to get good at, let's say, golf, and you just could go out one day and once every hour you got to do 45 seconds of practice, and that's it. And then you had to go home for all week and then just go back the next weekend and do 5 45-second bits. It's going to take a long time to get good at whatever sport you're trying to get good at. So skydiving can be frustrating that way. So layering on the tunnel time, being patient with yourself, and enjoying the processes along the way is going to make it a lot better. To get an invite for a big event, generally the process is to just get involved and jump. Once you've gotten to the stage where maybe you're on a team and you've gotten comfortable in big groups, now you can go to a camp, a tryout camp. So you don't need to be invited to a tryout camp. You just need to have a minimum skill level. So for our tryout camps, and for most of the tryout camps out there, we kind of have a checkbox on the registration, and it's that you can fly comfortably in a large group, you can stay on level, you can approach in your quadrant, and you can do a safe break-off. You don't have to be perfect at docking yet. You don't have to be able to just zoom in, take the dock, boom, hold it, but you do need to be able to do some basic skills, which are what I mentioned: approach in your quadrant, roughly stay on level, be able to do a safe break-off. Then you can be with other people and you're not a danger to them. So once you can do that stuff, you can start going to camps. Maybe the first couple of camps, you're not going to get that invite you're looking for. But as you're doing your team training on the weekend, you're doing your tunnel time, you're jumping with your friends in your small groups, and then you're hitting those camps, after a while, then all of a sudden, it's all going to start coming together, and you're going to not only be able to do the minimum qualifications for a record, but you're eventually going to be that person that can do multiple slots on a record. You can bring stability to the people around you, and you can not just be there and doing it, but you can actually make it easier for everyone else on the skydive. That's when you're guaranteed an invite to the record. You may get an invite to the record at the other stage when you can just do it. And that happens a lot of times where people are frustrated or upset. They're like, I know I could do this record. Why can't I get an invite? I was there in the camp. I did my dock. You could. Absolutely you could, and in fact, there's no reason why you couldn't. But the reason why you might not get an invite at that point is because there's 100 other people that are also at that stage, but there's only 20 people at the stage that they can make it easier for everyone around them. They can do the process smoothly and quicker. They can be guaranteed to be bringing stability to the formation as it builds. So that's the level that you eventually want to get to when you want to start participating in these high-level events. And it takes time, and you have to be patient with yourself, and you have to realize that the journey is actually more important than the goal. I know that sounds stupid and cliche, but how you learn and what you learn along the way and your attitude is going to actually make you learn faster. If you keep a positive attitude, you keep your goals in sight, and you enjoy what you're doing along the way instead of beating yourself up and getting frustrated.
Just a quick note to our skydiving family. Blue Skies Fun Days is here to help our family grow, have fun in the sky, and to do it safely. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, and tell your friends about the lessons we have on offer to help everyone become better skydivers. For more tips and techniques, click subscribe.